Hello everyone, welcome to my channel No Inside Out. So today I'm going to discuss about one of the important topic from research methodology. The topic is research problem and technique used in formulation of research problem. Now this research problem we already know it is one of the step in research methodology process. So let's discuss this topic. First of all, meaning of research problem. Meaning of research problem is we have to define a research problem in very clear sense. Now the question arises, what do you mean by defining a problem? Defining a problem involves the task of laying some boundaries. It means we have to define some boundaries, we have to find out some limits within which the researcher can conduct his study. And along with these limits there are some predetermined objectives also, and for the purpose of the fulfillment of these predetermined objectives, the research problem should be defined in very systematic manner. Now the technique that is used for defining the research problem includes a number of steps. That is, we can also call the technique for formulating or defining a research problem. So let's start this technique. The first step of this technique is statement of the problem in general way. It means the researcher should define his problem in very general way, in very broad way. And for this purpose, the researcher should involve himself in the research study by doing some simple survey, by doing some pilot survey. Pilot survey means the researcher will be conduct his study on a very small scale rather than targeting the whole target. We have to, or we can say, rather than targeting the whole sample, we will conduct our study on a very small scale to check the feasibility of our study. Okay. And after conducting this pilot survey, we will get answer that our research will be successful, will be practically possible or not. Okay. But this thing gives us a general way of defining the problem. Okay, we are not specific about our problem. This is only general way of our problem, and we know that general definition of anything includes a very ambiguities means there are a lot of confusions, and these confusions must be removed by rethink over the problem, and then we can define the problem in a narrow sense, in a specific way. So this is the first step of the formulating a research problem. That is, we have to define the problem in very general way. I think it is clear. Now let's move to the next step, that is understanding the nature of the problem. Now we have to understand our research problem in a very deep way. It means we have to clear about each and every aspect of our research problem, and this understanding of research problem can be gained by the researcher after discussing his problem with those persons who have a good knowledge of that problem. Okay, those persons who having a good knowledge of the same area, by discussing them with them, the researcher can be clear about each and everything about the research problem. So it includes understanding the nature of the problem. Now the next step is survey the available literature. Now after discussion my problem with some persons who have a good knowledge, I have to survey the available literature for my problem also. Available literature means we have to go through the research papers, journals, government reports, some books which are related to my area. Okay, and this available literature will help me a lot in defining my research problem in a specific way. Now And let's move to the next step, developing the idea through discussion. Now, after surveying the available literature, I have to discuss my problem again with those persons who have some experience in that field, or we can say who have already researched in that similar problem. Okay, and this process is also known as experience survey. It means we have to discuss with those persons who have already a lot of experience with that field, or who have already researched something related to that field. Okay, now by discussing this thing, or by going through experience survey, we have a lot of new ideas. Now, let's move to the last step, that is rephrasing the research problem. Now, after literature survey, after discussion, after going through the experience survey, I have some new ideas, and on the basis of these new ideas, new concepts, I can rephrase my problem in a very specific way. Okay, because I already know that in the very first step the problem will define in a general way, broad sense. Okay, and the general way of problem is very ambiguous thing. Okay, so for removing that ambiguities, I have to do some literature survey, some discussions. So after doing all these steps, in the very last step, I have to rephrase my problem, I have to rethink over my research problem, so that it may helpful in the development of some working hypothesis. Working hypothesis means we can create some assumptions, some predictions about my problem, and then we can check that the significance of those assumptions by applying some test. Okay, like Z test, T test, and all this. Okay, so this is all about the research problem and steps that we should follow when I have to formulating my research problem. So I hope this topic will be clear to all. So thank you everyone.